New York City, the most populous city in the United States. And the most linguistically diverse city in the world. More than 800 languages are spoken in New York City. A little over 8 million people live in New York City. New York City became the first capital of the United States in 1789. The United Nations headquarters was established in New York City in 1952 after World War II. The city was named New York after King Charles II conquered the area, and gifted the city to his brother the Duke of York, who renamed it New York. France gifted the Statue of Liberty to the United States in 1886 for its centennial celebration. The statue was shipped as 350 pieces in 214 crates and took 4 months to assemble at its current home on Ellis Island. New York City's Federal Reserve Bank has the largest gold storage in the world. The vault is 80 feet below street level and contains $90 billion in gold. Oysters were so popular in New York in the 19th century that the shells were used to pay Pearl Street. They were also used for lime for the masonry of the Trinity Church. The New York Public Library has over 50 million books and other items and is the second largest library system in the nation after the Library of Congress. It is also the third largest library in the world. Times Square is named after the New York Times. It was originally called Longacre Square until the Times moved there in 1904. More Chinese people live in New York City than any other city outside of Asia. More Jewish people live there than any other city outside of Israel. New York City is home to more billionaires than anywhere else in the world. Forbes listed New York City with the most billionaires at 107 people, followed by Beijing with 83 billionaires. New York is the only state that borders both the Atlantic Ocean and the Great Lakes. New York City is divided into 5 boroughs. Number 1. Brooklyn. Number 2. Queens. Number 3 Staten Island. Number 4 the Bronx, and number 5. The best known of all, Manhattan. New York City has more coastline than Miami, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Boston combined. The Statue of Liberty was designed by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. And its metal framework was built by Gustave Eiffel, the French civil engineer who designed the Eiffel Tower. Central Park is larger in area than the world's second smallest nation, Monaco. If it were its own city, Brooklyn would be the 4th largest city in the U.S. The population of New York City alone exceeds that of 39 U.S. states. Skyscrapers are mostly in Midtown and Lower Manhattan because of the area's strong bedrock. New York City is the birthplace of the ice cream cone, Eggs Benedict, and Pasta Primavera. English is not the primary language of half of New Yorkers. Times Square accounts for 10% of New York City's jobs and 11% of its economic output. In New York City, you can find more than 6,000 high-rise buildings and 237 skyscrapers. In total, about 2.7 million New York residents speak Spanish, making it the second most spoken language in New York City after English. Designed in 1853, Central Park was the first landscaped park in the United States. Credited in more than 500 movies, Central Park is the most filmed location in the world. New York City's iconic Brooklyn Bridge was also the first steel wire suspension bridge in the world. Brooklyn Bridge is 11 years older than London's Tower Bridge. The iconic Empire State Building has its own zip code, 10,118. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is the largest art museum in the United States, and also one of the most visited art museums in the world. The first item sent through the New York City Post Office's pneumatic tube system was a live cat. New York City is home to roughly 1 out of every 38 Americans. New York City boasts a total of 13,000 of its famous yellow taxis. The capital of New York State is not New York City but rather Albany. All lined up, New York City's subway tracks would stretch 722 miles in total. Washington Square, Madison Square, Bryant, and Union Square parks were all formerly graveyards. New Yorkers have noted that when the price of a subway ride goes up, pizza does too. They call it the pizza principle. The first pizzeria in the U.S. opened in New York City in 1905, as certified by the Pizza Hall of Fame. The New York Stock Exchange, located on Wall Street, is the largest stock exchange in the world.